Welcome to my channel Limelight Leaks. Please share and subscribe and hit the bell icon for new updates. And I can't say no to the fact that you liked him right now. It's just so much fun you never get bored ever. You really just have to stay alive in the world of American entertainment. Sally Fieldses, a special person whose 50-year career has been impossible to put in just one box from. Her early days as TV's loved Flying Nun to her amazing dramatic acting in Norma Ray and Steel Magnolias. Field has always surprised people while keeping an image of nice girl next door Thathides. A core of tough steel. What have I've done? What came over me? It was wonderful. I loved every minute of it. Behind the warm smile and Oscar-winning acting is one of Hollywood's toughest perfections. An artist whose high standards have created some of the movie business's most surprising and explosive fights. What makes Field's fights really interesting is how they don't match your public image. While audiences see America's sweetheart movie, business insiders know a different Sally Field one, whose chase for artistic excels has led to heated fights. Some of Hollywood's biggest names, these weren't silly personality fights or gossip, magazine-worthy arguments, but deep disagreements outcraft professionalism and the vernature of working together. On stories, Field's fights show an artist whorefest to give up her vision for the sake of being nice, even when it means burning bridges with beloved co-stars and industry. Big shots today, we look at 7 actors whose creative difference with Field became so impossible to fix. Thathy completely changed Thathy of her career, showing Thato determination that lies beneath one of Hollywood's most lasting and complex personalities. 7 Burt Reynolds, the most publicly watched fight in Sally Field's career came from the mess of her difficult relations with Burt Reynolds, where personal heartbreak and professional ambition created a poisonous mixture that will ruin their working together. 4 decades loved me and Gidget, and he thought he loved me and Gidget, and I all saw said we were a perfect match of floss, right? We went together very well, but not necessarily for the right reasons. Stare romance, which started during theft filming of Smokey Yokey and the Bandit in 1977, at first seemed like Hollywood fairy tale material, but underneath the surface were deep disagreements about career direction and artistic honesty thought would eventually destroy both their personal and professional partnership. Tension became clear around Field's desperate desire to be taken seriously, a dramatic actress which crescendo violently with Reynolds' preference for money-making but artistic light projects. According to director Hal Needham, Sally wanted to Pravesh was more than just Burt's girlfriend in a car chase movie. Burt wanted to keep making the films that made them both rich and famous. They were pulling in opposite directions. The fight got worse when Field began turning down money-making sequels to go after more langing dramatic roles, leading to heated arguments that crew members described as watching two people destruct others' dreams in real time. The breaking point came during the promotion of the end, when Reynolds publicly said Field's Oscar hopes were realistic, prompting her famous comeback. She would rather fail chasing excellence than succeed at being mediocre. Producer Robert Evans later said that their relationship represented the classic Hollywood tragedy of personality being eaten up by professional ambition, with both parties too proud to give up their vision for the sake of their partnership. Always loved me and Gidget, and I thought they loved me. Gidget and I also said we were a perfecta match of flaws, right? We went together very well, but not necessarily for the right reasons. 6 Tom Hanks' unexpected friction between Sally Field and Tom Hanks during Forrest Gump shocked Hollywood insiders who thought America's 2 most beloved actors would create perfect on-screen harmony. Their fight came from totally different approaches to showing the complex mother-son relationship that held up the film's emotional core, with Field's intensive method preparation clashing against Hanks's more gut-feeling performance style. The tension reached at its peak during rehearsals, when Field's detailed psychological backstory for Forrest Gump conflicted with Hanks's simpler interpretation of their dynamic director. Zemeckis remembered Sally had built this elaborate internal life for the character. Tom felt it was overcomplicating what should be pure emotion. The situation got worse when Field questioned Hanks's choices during their important deathbed scene, leading to what cinematographer Don Burgess described as most uncomfortable silence I've ever witnessed on a film set. Producer Wendy Feynman later revealed that Field privately expressed frustration with what she saw as Hanks's surface-level approach to their relationship. Professional politeness masked a deeper artistic incompatibility that made their touching. On-screen chemistry, a testament to both actors' professionalism rather than genuine creative collaboration. Number 5. Robin Williams. The collision between Sally Field's disciplined approach and Robin Williams' chaotic genius during Murdout Fire created one of Hollywood's most unexpected behind-the-scenes battles. Their fight represented the clash between structured repetitions and wild creative width. Field's need for consistency running headlong into Williams' improvisation tornado. That redefinitions with each take. The breaking point came during the dinner sequence, where Williams' constant improvisation made impossible for Field to maintain. Her character's emotional arc. Director Chris Columbus witnessed the tension. Robin would do 15 different versions of every line Sally needed something to anchor her performance against, and Robin's genius was basically making that impossible. The situation got worse. Field requested that Williams stick closer to the script, prompting what crew members described as the polytest creative war ever fought. Producer Marcia Garcus Williams later revealed that Robin felt creatively held back by Field's request for consistency, while Field privately complained that his improvisation was self-indulgent rather than story serving. Their mutual respect prevented public confrontation. Butte insiders noted that Field's relief when principal photography wrap was a bias, with one crew member observing that Shell looked like someone who had survived a beautiful hurricane. For Kevin Costner, derailed collaboration between Sally Field and Kevin Costner on an abandoned Western project became legendary in Hollywood development circles as a masterclass in impossible-to-fix creative adherences. Their fight came up during pre-production when Field's character-driven storytelling vision clashed with Costner's preference for sweeping, epic-scale narratives that prioritize visual spectacle. Covert, intimate human drama. The tension exploded during script development. Star development, Digings, where Field's requests for deeper character exploration conflicted with Costner's commercial instincts. Producer Lawrence Gordon remembered Sally wanted to examine the psychological cost of frontier life on women. Kevin wanted to make Dances with Wolves. In a different setting, they were making completely different movies. The situation reached its breaking point. Field threatened to leave the project unless significant script changes were made to strengthen her character's agency. Agent Mike Oites, who represented both stars, later described failed collaboration as to legitimate visions destroying each other through pure incompatibility. Costner reported comment that Field was trying to turn a Western into a therapy session effectively. Candid, any possibility of reconciliation. The project's immediate installation sent shockwaves through the industry, with Variety noting that Field had chosen artistic integrity over a guaranteed blockbuster paycheck. 3. John Malkovich. The theatrical collision between Sally Field and John Malkovich trained a Broadway revival became one of the most legendary rehearsal room disasters in recent theater history. Their fight came from totally incompatible approaches. Talker actor development with Field's collaborative, emotionally accessible thought clashing violently against Malovich's intensely cerebral and fiercely individualistic rehearsal process that treated fellow actors as obstacles rather than partners. In creative discovery, the tension reached explosive levels during character exploration sessions where Malevich speak a logic dissection techniques made feel visibly uncomfortable. According to director Mike Nichols, John approached every scene like a forensic scientific simming evidence. Sally needed emotional connection and human warmth to build her performance. They were operating from completely different ends. The situation got worse when Malevich criticized Field's sentimental interpret during a pivotal scene, prompting what stage manager Robert Bennett described as the most professional yet devastating confrontation I've witnessed in 40 years of theater. The breaking point came when Field requested separate rehearsal schedules, effectively admitting that their creative processes were impossible to make work together. Producer Scott Rudin later revealed that Field privately described working with Malkovich as performing surgery while Samin dissects your soul, while Malevich reportedly dismissed Field's approach as emotional masturbation. His method acting their inability to find common ground for said the production's postponement, with theater critic Frank Rich noting their fight represented the beautiful long possibility forcing two brilliant but incompatible artistic temperaments into collaborative creation. Second, Sean Penn intensity collision between Sally Field and Sean Penn during an independent film project created one of Hollywood's most psychologically production environments, where two committed method actors discovered thought or approaches to dramatic truth were not just different, but actively destructive to each other's creative emphasis. Their fight went beyond typical artistic disagreements to become a battle over the very nature of emotional authenticity and performances. Tension became clear during center preparation when Penn's psychological excitation techniques clashed with Field's more intuitive emotionalisable director Paul Thomas Anderson remembered. Sean dug into darkness like an archaeologist, mechanic uncovering layers of actor psychology. Sally accessed emotion through empathy and lived experience. When they tried to work together, it was like watching two different species attempt communication. Situation got worse when Penn's intense preparation rituals began affecting Field's ability to maintain character's emotional state between takes. The breaking point occurred during a crucial confrontation scene where Penn's relentless commitment, top psychological realism pushed Field beyond her comfort zone, leading to what cinematographer Robert Elwood described as the moment when method acting became emotional warfare. Field's later commenced, American film revealed her frustration. There's a difference between serving the truth of a character and drowning in it. Number 1, Robert Downey Jr. At the heart of Sally Field's most complex and emotionally charged fight lies her relationship with Robert Downey Jr., a confrontation that blended maternal instinct with professionality in ways that illuminate the deepest contradictions of Hollywood sports systems. Their relationship began during Downey's early career struggles in Field, recognizing his extraordinary alt. Handel comes back from Vienna, so wasn't killed, he was named the guy was decapitated. They froze the head. How I suppose to write for a guy that doesn't have a head, all right? Well, we haven't figured that out yet. Well, Wapley's it became both mentor and surrogate mother figure, offering We Dance opportunities that helped launch his career trajectory toward eventual superstardom. The fight came up when Field's personal Downey's welfare began compromising her professional judgment, according to producer Laura Ziskin. Sally saw Roberta's brilliant wounded artist when needed protection from himself, but at some point maternal love became enabling and professional standards back impossible to maintain. The tension reached its breaking point during a film project where Downey's personal struggles began affecting production schedules, forcing Field to choose between her protective instincts and her commitment to the collaborative ruse. That film demanded. The devastating rupture came when Few publicly criticized Downey's behavior in a Variety interview, stating that talent without responsibility is just expensive as self-indulgence. Downey's bitter response to that Field had confused career management with motherhood, effective alien. Their relationship leaving both parties wounded by the collision. Its offers an affection and professionalism. Field's fights reveal an artist who refused to give up excellence for convenience, proving that beneath America's sweetheart lay Hollywood's most uncompromised feuds weren't born of ego, but of unwavering commitment. Towcroft over comforts. Subscribe for more revelations.